How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is AdRock, and welcome back to another Freelancer breakdown, this time covering Gray. Gray is a medium to long-range Freelancer whose abilities really shine in her versatility, able to hunt down and isolate lone targets, or be super disruptive inside the crowd. That being said, let's take a look at her skins, her abilities, and general observations. First off, for Gray's skins, you have Stalker, which is the default skin with colors Amber at level 1, Charred you can purchase for 5,000 ISO, Turquoise at level 8 for 10,000, Perlite for level 10 at 25,000, the Golden Age skin, which you can only get through the Trust Pack at AtlasReactor.com, and Bloodlust, which can only be obtained through the Infiltrator's loot matrix. Her other skin available at the moment is Untamed with Hawk at level 1, Shikra at level 6 or 5,000 ISO, Falcon at level 8 for 10,000, Raven at 10 for 25,000, and Talon, which you can only get from a Titan's loot matrix. Now let's move on to the abilities. Gray's first ability is Tracer Bolt, a blast phase no cooldown ability that deals direct damage for the first enemy hit and tracks a target for 2 turns. Tracked targets are revealed. You will also gain 12 energy per enemy hit. Additional modifications include Hunt Them Down, which will deal additional damage to targets that are tracked, and High Powered Bolts, which will pierce the enemy but only deal damage to the initial target. The other enemies hit are tracked. Gray's second ability is Hawk Drone, a blast phase 2 cooldown ability which sends out your drone in a direct line and a landing zone, hitting enemies along the way, dealing more damage if they're tracked. The drone then stays at the location, shooting enemies that are inside its zone of coverage every turn until you move it or they move. The attacks will also ignore cover and you gain 5 energy per enemy hit. Modifications include Vicious, which will increase the damage to tracked targets, Infrared Enhancement, which attacks invisible enemies, and Composite Materials, which increases the range of the drone by 2. Gray's third ability is Tranquilizer Dart, a free action, prep phase, 4-turn cooldown ability, which will launch a dart that weakens and reveals an enemy until the end of the turn. Enemies that are hit by the dart are also tracked for 2 turns. You will gain 6 energy per enemy hit. Modifications include Energy Feed, which will grant you extra energy on hits, Double Dart, which now gives you 2 darts but reduces the energy gain by 3 per dart, Adrenal Overload, which can now hit allies, granting them might and unstoppable until the end of the turn, and Overdose. Enemies that are hit are slowed. Gray's fourth ability is Slip Away, a dash phase 6-turn cooldown ability which escapes to the target location adjacent to your drone. You will gain 10 energy upon use. Modifications include Thrilling Escape, which gains you additional energy when used, Shelter, giving you shields until the end of the next turn, Agile Escape, which will increase the size of the landing area, and Unseen Huntress, which will turn you invisible until the beginning of the next resolution mode. Gray's ultimate ability is Voltaic Cage, a blast phase, no cooldown ability, provided you have 100 energy, that will command your drone to a target location where it creates a cage that lasts for 2 turns. Enemies that cross a barrier are rooted and take damage, but the wall segment is then destroyed. Modifications include Zapper, which increases the damage, Relentless, on cast it'll reset the cooldown of Hawk Drone, and Prison Roster. Enemies inside the cage are revealed until the end of the next turn. So here we're at the opinions. I mean, Gray, like I said, is very versatile. She's medium to long range, can hit people from surprisingly long distances, especially with Hawk Drone, but her difficulty really lies in that versatility. You need to plan ahead for the fight you know is coming, and if you know that, she dominates. If you plan inefficiently or get the wrong lineup that you're expecting something else, you're gonna have to work a lot harder to come out on top. I've seen Grays use a bunch of different ways, as an assassin for squishies, a debuffer, peeler, scout character, or just a plain nuisance, always being there where no one really wants her and distracts opponents from their initial target. I personally love playing Gray as a ranged assassin style character. Pick out an opponent, most time a healer or a long range squishy like Zuki, and then track them down relentlessly. Her modifications give you a large amount of flexibility to fill in any gap your team might need, so once again, plan accordingly. Be aware that you can spread your firepower throughout the battlefield with proper awareness and be incredibly hard to catch if you keep yourself one step ahead of everyone. If you haven't noticed, I keep saying awareness and plan accordingly. Gray needs awareness and she needs to plan. Tracer Bolts Hunt Them Down mod is nice because you can constantly keep your enemy tracked. If not, go with High Powered Bolts for a bit of unexpected damage to another target. You'll still keep them tracked, but it's a bit of a safety net. Hawk Drone can be used for recon, hunting down a hidden enemy, doing AoE damage to a clumped team, zoning, or as an escape tool. It's up to you and what is needed in a match to use effectively. Again, just going to repeat it all. Try to keep some distance between yourself and Hawk Drone in case you get rushed in by melee. That way you can slip away with much more efficiency, pull your team away from the enemy team, give them much more breathing room, reposition yourself, and then keep the hunt going. It's actually pretty hilarious to watch a Rask or Garrison jump after you and you're half the map away chasing down a random character. You slip away, and all of a sudden they're stuck on the other side of the map, and you're just sitting there going, cool, I can just plink away at somebody else now. Pew, pew, pew. Tranquilizer Dart has massive synergy with Tracer Bolt and Hawk Drone, so be sure to keep a target tracked for maximum effectiveness and damage. If you're having trouble keeping up with tracked targets, you could always swap out a mod to slow down your enemies or buff allies with Overdose and the other one. I forget the name at the moment. Sorry guys, I'm tired. Hawk Drone's positioning can lead to some amazing escapes with slip away, or you can just run into the arms of angry Rask or Titus. You need to be aware of your landing area. Hey, look at that keyword again. Try to play some mind games as well. Most enemies will expect Gray to land in the brush to become invisible, and aim towards it if they expect to slip away. Agile Escape and Unseen Huntress mods can throw people off your scent, or simply land in plain sight. Most people don't expect Gray to just sit there, and you end up wasting a move anyway. Voltaic Cage comes up faster than other ultimates if Gray and her Hawk Drone are constantly doing damage. It, like Gray, again have multiple great uses, either ensuring a lone target won't get away, or corralling enemies to give your team some breathing room. It'll also root most dashes as well. Any blink flash move, to be fair, will not be affected by its Voltaic Cage because you're not actually rushing through the cage. You're using some sort of teleportation move to get around it. So be wary of that if you're wondering, oh, why didn't they root? It's because a blink flash style will negate Voltaic Cage. Try to go with a catalyst like Turtle Tech. That way, in case you do end up landing in a bad area or you're constantly being harassed by an enemy, it gives you an extra hit and a half or half a hit, whatever, to survive and then reposition yourself or do a little extra damage. Get your Hawk Drone there, or give your supports, your teammates, time to get to you. So keep that in mind as well. Brain Juice also is really good for Gray because it allows you to reset your cooldowns faster, get your drone back up, get your trackers back up, make sure you're constantly in the battle and constantly doing damage. I don't mind Gray, but like I said, her kit allows her to be super open and flexible despite being a surprisingly powerful hitter. You need to just be wary of your playstyle and how best to use it against certain enemies. Once you see, oh, okay, I've got this team right here, I need to be more of a peeler, or I need to be more of a person who's going to hunt someone down. That's what Gray really shines at, is filling in those gaps. Like I said earlier, planning, awareness, that is what will make a great Gray. And hey guys, that's it for me, Adrock, this time for a Freelancer Breakdown, this time featuring Gray. Please leave me any comments or suggestions in any of the video or on Reddit, on Twitter, anywhere you guys get a hold of me. I love to know what kind of feedback would be great for these videos and what you want to know about them. I want to make them better for you. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.